It's a good game.
Really good game.
Does it show up here? This valve, this index controller. hmm I'll show you what you're seeing on the opposite side of where.
We are actually live. This is nice. Nice and relaxing, I would say so myself. But hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Luis, aka Era Louie, coming in live with my personal coworker, staff, and friend, Sterling Thornburg. How are you doing, good sir?
I am awesome. How are you?
I am doing wonderful, good sir. It's been a long week. It's been a doozy of a week, both within Era and personal works and whatnot. But Friday's here, and you know what that means. We're gonna be having our talk, just something to relax to and vibe with, give you guys some transparency on everything going on, Era Sports wise, as well as get to let you, the viewer, know our fellow staff member and COO, by the way, Sterling Thornburg. Hello, good sir. How are you today?
Having a wonderful day. Looking forward to the weekend.
Wonderful day, good sir. I like to hear that. Well, before we get into the weekend, I guess this is your last homework task, so to speak, good sir. So if you want, we could definitely jump right into it. Yeah, Sterling, I'm happy to have you on. Me and you talk fairly frequently, I would say, within the business of Era. But we're both in kind of separate departments. I'm more on the marketing side, and you're more on the project management side, so to speak. And you're one of the first founders of Era. But before we get even into any of that, good sir, Sterling, I just want to know more about your business career, personal life. Give us a little synopsis of, basically, let's start off with like how you ended up in the business field you're in today. If you want to start from there, we could definitely just go down the rabbit hole and keep it going. So
For sure.
Yeah.
I didn't know what I wanted to do when I grow up. Went to college, thought I would do computer science, program stuff. Didn't work out that way. Worked as a teller right out of college for a little while. Then I got into the medical field, did some project stuff there, and then
Medical field.
working with what's the best way to put it? Like hospitals, labs, stuff like that. Little projects there, and then from there went into IT tech stuff because that kind of blended over into IT projects that were from healthcare to just IT, and then everything just changed after that. MoneyGram, Digital River, now stuff at U.S. Bank. So I mean, I've done a lot of stuff that's in the financial tech industry, and I just kind of natural progression from healthcare to my passion of IT and kept going into there to finance. So I've done a lot of stuff, but a lot more of it in the finance area.
For sure, for sure. Well, break it down for me, Mr. Sterling, because it sounds like you have the same beginning as Scott. As you know, we spoke with Scott last week. He said that
Yep.
he went as a research assistant and did like organ transfer for for medical reasons, and then he went into like the platform development because he just loves creating things. So basically, you were in medical field a little bit. You found yourself working with the tech side of finances, correct? Like,
That's right.
what was like the biggest like transition in your career? Because everyone has like I can go first, Sterling. With me, I didn't
No,
know what
yeah,
I
that's
wanted to
fine.
do either, and then I just kind of jumped into the techie marketing side. So video editing has kind of became a big exploration for me within Era as well as personally. But before that, I just said I want to do esports. Okay, what does that entail? There's e-commerce, there's the tech side, there's platform development, there's content creation, video editing, all that stuff. So, what was the big thing that was like, wow, this is my thing?
Games have always been my thing. That was hard to find a career in,
Hmm.
10 years ago, even really. Tried to go pro way back in the day, never really worked out there.
Hmm.
Uh, Played some old back in the day Counter-Strike stuff. That was, I don't know if you've heard of Cal League.
I've never
They
heard
got,
of cow.
they had, I
Not to
think they had
date
some,
you.
no, they had some financial stuff. I think one of the owners or something stole all the money. They had collected a lot of stuff for prizes, and there was some, maybe it was embezzlement. I don't know, but they went out of business, disappeared suddenly overnight.
Wow.
But they were the scene to play competitive Counter Strike way back in the day. So I tried doing that a little bit, and then went into college and stuff like that. But biggest transition um, probably was going from not really knowing where I'm going to go as a teller to studying a little bit, taking some certifications, doing legitimate project management stuff. It was a huge step. It was a horrible test to take. It's a big change. It was a really big change, and my career just exploded after that because it was a more focused and more in demand having IT project stuff. So that was a lot of work.
I see. A lot of work,
Yeah,
good
yeah.
sir. Wow.
Oh, oh, it
Before,
was it. I still look back on it. It was really hard.
if you want to give me a little insight, I guess I'm just curious. Project management to me, on the outside surface, to fill you
Yeah,
in, Sterling, because I actually was going to work for a project management role within Fun.com. Before Era and all that, I did my internship there, and they were interested in
yeah,
letting me do project management because I had experience in Asana and I was running my club to give
for sure.
people a little bit of insight and all that. But for you, you've really worked on it. I just had the opportunity to do it. Just
Yeah.
if you want to give me a little bit about the project management side, like what interests you into it, what do you kind of dislike about it, and why is it your expertise, so to speak?
When I took the test way back in the day to be certified,
Hmm.
it was still the old ways where everybody became a project manager to do like a construction project and build stuff.
Yeah.
Uh, and then that changed as I got into my first job, and they were like, "We're going to do that with, an IT project. It's a great way to run a project or whatever." So,
Hmm.
um, I like it for me because back then it was a little more responsibility. It's kind of been pared away and a little less than it is now, but it was all about what are the finances, what are the people involved, what's your spending, what's your spend rate, what are you
Hmm.
doing to build. It was just you have an overview of everything. You are in charge of everything. It almost felt like you a-okay a budget going through somebody spending XYZ. So having that overall global view of something and then executing it to go to build whatever, that was awesome. That was a really cool thing to see and to be part of. So
You're just like,
why?
yeah. I would say, Sterling, you're just like me. I like having my hands, so to speak, in everyone's pots. I mean, I don't want to like personally destroy anything, but I just want to know exactly what is going on within like the company
Exactly.
itself, which
Yeah.
from my personal experience and even yours, when you are starting off your business career or when you are starting as an intern or whatever, it does kind of
Yeah.
feel meh when you really don't know what's going on. You're just kind of assigned the task. So yes, I,
Mhm.
I agree with you with the whole project management side in regards to just being able to have your hands and everything and just be able
Yep.
to see everything. But on my
It's
end,
fun.
at least, it's kind of scary because like you're in charge of everything, Sterling. That's crazy. So
It's a lot of work. You have to keep track of a lot. You got to track a lot.
I feel like time management or just management of efficiency is a big thing. So I totally get that.
Yeah.
Well, cool. That's awesome to hear, Mr. Sterling. I guess we can transition if you're okay with that. I mean, we're gonna keep jumping
Yeah.
down the
Yeah.
rabbit hole. It's gonna be a fun
Go
time.
ahead.
So, so cool. Let me transfer over real quick. So, you've had some business ventures. You found yourself going into the project management role. You give us a little bit insight on your kind of day-to-day job or just your operations in general. And yeah, I mean, obviously you love esports. And before we get to the next topic, I just want to say, bring it back to the Counter-Strike thing. You said you played in a league. What was the name of the league that you can recall for me?
Cal, or it was called Cal, CAL, or
CAL.
sometimes I think it was called Cal League. You might still be able to find some stuff online, but I don't know if it's all been kind of wiped. It's so old now and
It's so crazy.
removed.
I might need
Yeah.
to dig deep for myself personally, but I wanted to talk about that, go down the rabbit hole, because, why not? It's Friday. Sterling, did you know about Halo 4's like Arena Gaming League by any chance? I don't know if you heard about that. It was so Halo 4 obviously was pretty rough. No one really liked it. I didn't like it either, but it was my first foot in the door to become like a professional because we kind of shared the same liking where we wanted to go pro or be a part of like the esports scene as a professional player. It didn't work out as
Yeah.
well just because of family support slash I was so young and also the league collapsed. Just to fill you in on Halo 4 and all the viewers as well, the Arena Gaming League was just like this side like hustle group of people that wanted to make a league for Halo because MLG dropped it from the circuit. So they did stuff, but rumors were coming around that they weren't personally helping the players, and then the league just kind of got stale. So what I'm saying is I feel your pain, and it's very, very similar to like your own story. So just fill
Yeah.
my mind, Sterling.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. No, it sucks. If you want to go pro, I mean, you almost have to be independently wealthy to manage the time commitment. It's really hard. So I know what you mean.
it's rough. I definitely want
Yeah.
to. Dude, I want to get into that. Before we get into that, though, I wanted to ask you. We can go down the rabbit hole for sure, Mr. Sterling. But CEO of Era, you're the chief operating officer for Era Sports. Were a founder, according to Eric and everyone else at the team. How did this happen? Obviously, you have a day job and you have family and kids and whatnot, but you are so invested with Era Sports in your free time. So my question is, before we dive deeper, how did you get into it? What made you join Era, and how did you meet Eric? Like, just go off.
It was kind of a weird story. Throughout my time, I've had random people like my mom or an aunt or whatever say like, "Oh, I met XYZ and they're a gamer. You should talk to them." I'm like, "Mom, that's you don't just like say, oh, you're friends now. Like, go talk to a guy."
That's
But
so mom. That's so
um,
mom. By the way, my mom was a
yeah,
sailor. Keep going.
yeah. So I had a college buddy call me just after I started at U.S. Bank way back 2018. And he called me. He's like, "Hey, you should talk to this guy. He's all about gaming." And I was like, "Okay, yeah, I'll call him, Kyle. I'll give him a call." And um, I think maybe a month went by. He asked me, "Hey, did you talk to that guy?" And I was like, "No. What? Why are you telling me to talk to this guy?" He's like, "Oh, he loves games. You should talk to this guy about games." And I was like, "I don't." It felt like my mom, and I was like, I don't want to call a random person that and talk about video games."
Mhm.
Eventually, he just said, "Hey, give him a call." And then I called and got Eric, and he and I just started talking, and I think we talked like 4 hours.
Wow.
I was driving. I don't remember. I was driving home after work. I called him, and I think we were just still on the phone at 8 o'clock, just talking about what his idea was, what we both envisioned with esports, platforms for players, elevating players to be able to manage themselves and not get screwed when it comes to prize pools, and my experience with it, his experience.
For sure.
He had a ton of stuff that he had
Ton of
mapped out.
knowledge.
Yeah, yeah. So we talked for hours and hours about it, and then I think we just kept talking every day after that for hours. I mean, whenever I had a downtime at work, I'd go to an open meeting room and brainstorm stuff. We'd put stuff on a whiteboard, and I'd share like a video screen of something or whatever, and we just talked through stuff. And We mapped the idea out. He was working, I think, with Eric Berger at the time already with some of the maybe the patent stuff or whatever. But we fleshed the idea out, and that's how I got involved. It was just a random phone call from a random college buddy, and
That's
I
so wild.
was totally unexpected to be talking to somebody who was the same interest that I had, but never thought of actioning on it. So,
For sure. So
mhm.
you've had Sterling, just to bring it back. You've had like thoughts in on your own. Like, did you have this business idea before Eric? I was just curious. Like
I don't know if I can say that, but I mean, I always wanted to be able to play video games like this. Like if Counter-Strike had had this way back in the day where there was a stable open type platform where I could just sign up and play games,
yeah,
I probably would have lost all my money or won all my money on it because I would have been playing
for sure.
constantly. I think I was clocking in more than 40 hours a week playing games just off hours after school, and then that went into college, and I would have been all over it. But it's something I would never have thought of and wanted. I know there were platforms out there, but they never really appealed to me, and they usually had uh, downsides that made me just not even sign up. So
The user friendliness. That's a big one. At least for
yes,
me, you hear me throw that around
yes,
all the time in our talks and whatnot. So message boards.
yes, yeah,
So no,
clunky or
yeah,
whatever. So it's just yeah,
I agree. Like obviously, like we've done our competitor analysis and whatnot, and it just feels like there's still an opening within like the playing field that is like the esports platform industry for us to really
yes,
thrive and grow. So that's awesome to hear that
exactly.
you were interested from it, day one with Eric. But you just wanted a platform to play games in? I can't believe you played like 40 hours of that's you really
Oh,
speaking gamer talks like me. So
yeah, they didn't used to log it back then, but I think I just did some random hand math once, and it was like 10,000 hours in a year, maybe. I have no idea. It was over maybe a
dude,
couple of years. I have no idea, but I was up all night. Sometimes there were LAN parties, everyone brings their big desktop 80-pound monitors and sets up 30 computers, and you know, it was nuts. If I could have done that for money all the time, I would have been on it all day.
that's literally, I guess why we're here because,
Yeah,
even if you are at the tippy top, we're still trying to elevate you to get there. Or
yeah,
you can still have an
just for
opportunity
fun.
to invest or get some money yourself via monetization just for being like a
Yeah,
decent player. That's
yeah,
the general idea.
exactly.
So, but to touch on what you're saying, let me sidetrack real quick, Sterling. There's some kid right now. I don't even remember his name. He's in the CS:GO scene, but he has over 10,000 hours in the game, and he's only 17. Something ridiculous. And he is like
Yeah,
the young prodigy. I think he's going to like G2 Esports or something. But either way, we'll have to put it up when this gets cut up on YouTube. But it's
yeah,
just
yeah,
you're preaching to the choir, Sterling, is what I'm saying. Because even
yeah.
me, I would play Halo Reach, 8 to 10 hours a day, literally all summer break, spring break,
Right.
winter break, and just try being the best.
Get
But
young.
back then, everything was so grassroots. It just felt like you really had no voice. And now it's almost to the point where it's too saturated. So
Exactly right.
we're kind of here to make sure we have a voice for everyone else. So yeah, but cool. Wow. So you really just talked to Eric just because you're interested in esports, and you guys came up with this platform. Do you guys draw up like the flows? Did you help Eric with the original platform design that we had?
Um, I don't. Oh, the original one, yeah.
Oh
He
wow.
had a ton of stuff already mapped out. I don't know where the blend went, but I know we sat down and we wrote everything down. We did flows about like what it would look like. You start here, you end here.
Hmm.
Uh, what tournaments could look like. We did a lot of stuff just to get it prepped for the first group that we had develop our platform. So I
For
know we
sure.
spent a lot of time on it, but I can't say that I came up with pieces he didn't have already. Maybe added details to it. I don't. That'd be the best way to put it.
Yeah. No, I mean you're totally fine. I was just kind of curious if great minds think alike, and well, you guys definitely did. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's just absolutely insane. So basically, via network, and this is something I want to highlight just because I know personally from undergrad, networking is a very big and crucial thing. So
It's huge.
you met someone through your network, a friend, and they introduced you to another
Yep.
friend, aka Eric, the founder of Aerosports, and that's just how
That's right.
you just took a chance on your own. You could have said no, but
Yeah.
you took a chance.
Well, I mean, he had a great idea. We started talking about it, and then we had to figure out ways to raise money. And I was really interested. So we just kept grinding at it until we could get some cash to try and pay some developers to code for us. So
For sure. Well, that's awesome.
yeah,
I just want to
yeah,
clarify for everyone because you never know. Like that's kind of what happened with me and Eric. Like just to fill everyone in and you, Sterling. I was just a thriving, junior, senior in university, just trying to get in the esports scene. I had the club behind my back. We rallied hard with everyone in the League of Legends scene, and I just kind
yep.
of heard about this meetup randomly on Facebook to
Yeah,
discuss
yeah.
esports, which was like the first meetup that I met Eric and everyone else, and then we went to the Call of Duty event as well. We went to the Call of Duty
Mhm.
event major, like right before the whole COVID-19 outbreak, but that was like
Yep.
2019, 2020. So yeah, ever since then, I just kind of took a chance because I saw a Facebook ad and I reached out and Eric just said, "Hey, let's hang out, let's talk." And then now look at us, we're here. So he knows how to
Some of the
snag
best
you in.
things, the best and easiest jobs you'll find are networking.
For
Cutting
sure.
through that tape of applying for any job is way better than applying and waiting and all that.
You
So
are you are telling me I've had
yeah,
literal hundreds of applications. I've had
exactly.
my portfolio and my resume, teetered when I was in university. I paid for consulting. I had a consultant from the university too, and it's just
Exactly right. Yeah.
basically what we're trying to say to YouTube and live stream is please network because you never know where it's
Yep.
gonna go, and the worst that can happen is they say no. So it's always a
That's
beautiful
right.
thing. So cool, Sterling. Well, we are kind of pushing through this wonderful Friday afternoon, so why don't we just get to the next topic, which kind of correlates to what we've been talking about, so we can definitely keep it short and just keep discussing
Sure.
ourselves. But Sterling, we talked about the origin story of you. How you came into the business world, where you are right now.
Mhm.
We talked about Era Sports and how you talked to Eric. The next question for you is why do you believe in Era Sports as the next big thing? I know me and you talked a little bit about us being there's still space for us in the industry, the market, but like
For
you
sure.
personally, what do you see? Why do you think Era's the next big thing?
Uh, we are doing things that no one else, it seems to me, is doing.
For
Not
sure.
that not to give anything away, but making it player focused and making it easy. That doesn't seem to be a thing. It always seems to be too busy. Like maybe the best site you can think of, whatever site A is that everyone uses right now, you go to it and it's either just everything on the page is so busy you're like you don't know where to
Yeah,
go um, or you go to do it and then a lot of the places make you self-report stuff. People maybe lie, don't lie, or maybe there's just a problem.
that's a big one.
Um,
Hmm.
yeah, having to deal with that is just kind of a headache, and that doesn't make it fun. Um, And if it's simple, I think that's the most important thing, and that's a really hard thing for it seems like a lot of places to focus on. So I think Era is able to do that by making things more simple, making it easier for the player, making it player focused, and making things as easy and ease of use friendly. I don't know if that's not really a great phrase, but as focused on ease of use as
It's
humanly
possible.
possible.
I
Yeah.
agree.
So
That's kind of
yeah.
been the thing I've been chiming on since I kind of jumped on the wagon, the Arrow bandwagon full time.
Yeah.
Um, it's just to talk about what you're talking about, Sterling. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Just there's plenty of platforms out there that do specific things right, but
Hmm.
universally there isn't one that does everything correct or good
Right.
enough. It always feels like something's lacking, and my thought was with the platform and plus, all the intel we've had recently from our development team. From what the skeleton looks like right now, just wait till like it's fully built. It's gonna be gorgeous. I've been brainstorming
Right.
things in my head. I've kind of worked on some mock-ups for us for the future. We'll be happy to share when they're ready for us on all of our social channels. But man, it's just the idea is it's gonna be user friendly and not to not to be rude. I'm just saying I'm a part of the younger generation. Millennial Zoomers or Gen Z, I should say. Excuse me. It just everything needs to be instant gratification or it needs to work in seconds. I mean, just in general for case studies for marketing. If a site doesn't work for you in like the
Exactly.
first 5 seconds, people are more likely to incline to click off. There's plenty of statistics on, the percentages exactly, but this is stuff I studied university, still to this day, and it's just we have all that in mind, and we want to make sure that players actually enjoy the platform for what it is because, well, I mean, it's going to have everything built in. I mean, we can't go into too much detail, but the seamlessness of it, or just the functionality is going to be greater than everything else in the
Mhm.
market, and that's why I believe in the platform. It sounds like you come from the same vein, so
Well, if you keep the people happy and keep them focused, I don't see why they wouldn't want to stay.
you're telling me.
Yeah.
And from what we've heard and what I personally use, because I have done tournament organizing, TOing and whatnot.
Uh-huh.
There's a lot of sites that just cause issues, or the he said
Yeah.
she said. I can't even say that.
Yep.
But basically, like the recording needs to be clean, and we have all that stuff down to a T. It's just a matter of
That's right.
pushing it out there. So awesome. That's good to hear, Mr. Sterling. Man, we are really cruising along on all of this, good sir. Which is good. Next question for you, Sterling, and we can both chime in, obviously. This pertains back to the gaming background we were speaking about earlier, with you playing Counter-Strike, old school
Yeah.
Counter-Strike, and me playing Halo. But more sentimental, Sterling, why do you believe in esports? What makes you love the passion that is esports?
The best part about it is you know that you are better than somebody else when you beat them in an esports game.
Dude,
So your
that's
skill,
literally it.
I mean, and I don't like it being called flick gaming where people are flicking to shoot somebody, but when you are literally faster and your reaction time outshoots somebody else, that feeling is amazing and you can be rewarded for it. I mean, I'm all there. That's what I want. That was what would have sucked me in back when it was old school Counter-Strike days to be coming back for the next game every time.
For sure.
So
The
I like
grind
winning.
the grind of winning and feeling competitive is your drive.
Hmm.
That speaks
It's mine.
volume. That speaks volumes to me, Sterling, because personally, like I can play a casual game every now and then. It's fun, like we were talking about BioShock, whatever, earlier before we got on stream. But at the end of the
Yeah.
day, my blood like courses. Like it courses with like I want to be better than the person across the room from me or all my
Yep.
friends because I am the coolest dude here and I just want to be able to show off and be the best at this like
Exactly.
this craft. It's a craft, right? That's
Exactly right.
that's the reason why I love esports is because you can really see how people excel and the
Hmm.
competition explode, via metas or whatever, and you can actually see like the player put in the hours, and you can tell the difference between some crappy iron player to like the top 0.001% of League of Legends. Like there's a significant difference, and the only
Oh
way
yeah.
you see that is if you play the game, and that's kind of the beauty about esports for me too, Sterling, is that we're in this bubble all together, and from the outside perspective, it may be just cool, but to really understand the intricacy that is like esports, like if you watch a League of Legends game or Overwatch or even CS:GO or Halo,
Hmm.
like you really understand if you're in the scene. It's such a beautiful community. There's so many of them, but like as a whole, it's just very supporting. Not to get too sentimental
Yep.
or sappy, but that's why I love esports. Because one, the competition, and two, like the community is just so ripe, and I think that's why so many
Hmm.
people are investing into it. So
Hmm. Agree.
so yeah, man, we got really sentimental real quick. And that's basically my big takeaway with everything, Sterling. But to kind of trickle back or talk about my previous experience with esports, growing up, my family, they are my parents, second generation. This is to explain to the culture of Era and everyone else here watching on stream. But my family is second generation Hispanic, so they were the firstborn here. I was the third. But in general, in the culture that I live in, it's just seen as like scary or like off-putting to be into the gaming scene or the esports scene. And one, that's not just correlated to my personal like background, but in general, I feel like the 2000s like children kind of were pushed off from esports just because it was such a new innovative thing that was kind of scary to people. I don't know if you could speak on that, Sterling, but that was my takeaway as a young adult slash teenager, was that parents were like, this is cool, but I don't understand it, so I don't want to support you because it might lead to bad things. A kind of an
Yeah.
overprotective thing within the esports scene, but that's starting to fizzle away. Do you have any like background on any of that?
Esports as a career has not been something I think that anyone could hear about or understand until it hit ESPN in the past,
Yeah, you're telling
probably
me.
2016, 17, or 18 or whatever, when there was some kid that won, I don't know, was it, well, I can't think of that game.
I think.
Fortnite. Some kid
Yep,
won for
Fortnite.
an incredible Fortnite millions of dollar pot, and it was on ESPN. And all the news anchors went on the air, and they were like, "Can you believe you could make money in a game or
Yep,
something?" And it
that
was like,
was.
viral. But way back in the day, if you want to call it that, no one would ever consider letting their kid go play games. And I mean, you might, if you were that good, go over to Europe and you might compete or whatever. But stuff like that really wasn't a thing. There's 2,000 some people that maybe were in that pool at most,
For sure.
and that was a small crowd. And I'm sure they had financial backing and maybe their parents supported them. But I mean, I talked about it with my parents, and they rolled their eyes at me.
You're telling me.
Um, yeah, said
So.
go to school.
Mm-hmm.
There's no money in that, and I don't know if I would have been good enough to be um, on the news now. But in general, I think it's become more accepted because people are getting serious cash for serious games and um, making a serious living off of it. So
For
it's
sure.
more attainable right now than I think it ever has been.
It is
So
very, very, very obtainable nowadays, more than it ever
yeah,
was back in like 2000s, even like I'd say like 2014, because I
yeah,
remember, and this is, I love talking about this stuff, Sterling, so I'm gonna go off. 2014 was the first year that ESPN accepted League of Legends like as a like professional esport, and they streamed
hmm
the World Finals from South Korea on ESPN 3, which is like their online channel or whatever. But ever since then, they kind of divvied into the esports team for League of Legends. Period. That's about it.
yeah.
Before that, I feel like CS:GO was on Fuse TV, I think, as well as Halo. But besides that,
Sounds familiar.
it was still so foreign. And then 2018 was when that kid, that like 16-year-old or whatever, won that Fortnite
Yeah,
tournament for like 30 million. It was ridiculous.
that sounds right.
Something
Yeah,
ridiculous. But like ever since then, I feel like the media and everyone's been pushing esports here and there, which one is gift and a curse at the same time, because it's not just about the money, right? It's about the bond, the culture, the community, the passion, the craft. The same thing as sports. If I'm playing football, like American football, the first time of my life, maybe I don't know how to throw the ball correctly. But like if I put tens of thousand hours from like high school till university, and then you get
yeah,
drafted to the NFL, like there's a significant difference, and that's why
right.
we personally love this, and it's starting to be shown within like the real industry, in general. So
Yeah,
it rivals the movie
exactly,
industry.
exactly right.
Absolutely insane. So, but that's good to hear, Sterling. I'm not the only one that's alone, and we love our parents. We love them to death. Love your mom and dad, but
Exactly.
it's here. That's all I gotta say. So, well, it's good. It's good to hear, Sterling, that you are a big fan of the esports scene as much as I am. And I know you come from the CS background, the Counter Strike background, so little older than me, but that is okay. I'm happy that we both bleed and love video games. So,
Yeah.
so yeah, that's basically everything I want to touch on right now, Mr. Sterling. We have a couple more topics for you. A couple of
hmm
them, we have some fun questions to ask, but before we get into that, we could dive deep a little bit into basically what's going on in Era. I know me and Scott talked about it on stream about some things happening internally, things that we can share, obviously. So whatever you can share, good sir, for me or for anyone else on the stream, go ahead. We'll keep it light, simple. So anything new going on in the Era scene?
We have a lot of our development coming to a head, and I think there's some excitement that we can look forward to sharing once that development is done. And
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I could go more than that, but things are looking pretty incredible. So I think that we're going to have a very nice product coming up here that we can showcase beta or demo or whatever to people coming up.
I'm very excited because, as you know, we've been internally working on the demo piece and whatnot. So for what
Hmm.
we've seen, it's very exciting, and it's nice to see that new things are going to be coming out real soon. So, but I can touch on
That's
this as
right.
well, Sterling. Basically, from my end, excuse me, we're going to be going into the marketing side of everything. Maybe you'll see us with some influencers. I know that me and Scott have been working on some marketing aspects that we can't touch on right now, but we're kind of setting up the roadmap for you, the viewer, and the user to see more viewership and more of us, within the market world, so that you guys can have a hands-on experience with the platform once it's ready. So we're working on marketing tactics as well as obviously development from Mr. Sterling as he stated. So yeah, that's basically all I have to cover. Sterling, are you good?
I'm great.
Awesome. Well, good sir, we can definitely dive into the fun stuff that is going to be just fun questions. That's literally the topic on screen for the viewers. So, good sir, we can start off with something simple. What is your favorite
Yeah.
game? What is a game that you tried that you hated? Just go. I'll chime in with my personal
Sure.
takes too. So,
Counter-Strike was my thing.
okay,
That was my favorite, and it bled over into Battlefield 3, and I don't think there's been a better one since then.
you're telling me.
Um, yeah. After that, absolutely was devastated at how bad 2042 was. Uh,
Oof.
I can't believe that that game came out, and it kind of makes me sad because I was looking forward to that. But
Yeah,
that
we
was
all
my
were.
that was my recent disappointment.
No, that's so sad. I mean, Sterling, we should definitely touch on once we're done with the fun questions about just in general
Uh-huh.
how the gaming like development side of everything is. Not the esports side, but in general, we can get into
Yeah.
COVID real quick. But before we get to that, let me give you my synopsis stream as well as you, Sterling. Personally, I've been a Halo kid my whole life. Halo Combat Evolved was the first game I ever touched. I was like 4 years old, 4 or 5 years old, like 2001, 2002, and I just played this game and watched my dad. I was mesmerized by him, shooting space aliens, basically. A little too young to be watching, but he was okay with it. I was okay with it, and I think that's why it sparked so much interest in everyone that was a big Halo fan. But I was like 4 or 5 years old. Combat Evolved. I think if I had to put one favorite game, is Halo 3. I think I said this
Mhm.
with Scott as well. Halo 3 just had everything out of the box. It was beautiful. It just had so much like community built into it already with the Ford, with the custom games, just in general theater. People were taking pictures and putting their file shares. It was just insane. So
Yeah.
Halo 3 is definitely my favorite, if not my one of my top two favorites for sure. The recent disappointment will probably be, I mean, not to sound rude, but Halo Infinite, because it didn't turn out the way I expected to, and everyone was really hyped. So, just in general, I think this year slash these past few years, due to like the world with COVID-19, Sterling, games have been a
Yes.
little rough on development. So we definitely touch base on that. But yeah, man, I just can't believe Vanguard 42 and Halo Infinite just came out so rough, so underbaked. And I
Yeah.
understand because the strains that happened in the world, like literally, caused it. But I don't know. How do you feel about everything when it comes to the development of games? I don't know anything about development. I'm not an IT guy or anything in regards to project management. But
Yeah.
do you have any insight? Because I have no idea what happened to Halo still to this day,
Uh,
and we're all
I've
figuring out.
read I've read a lot about it. I don't know how it applies exactly with Halo. You could blame some of it on COVID, but if you think about games like PUBG, that
Mm-hmm.
had a big thing with microtransactions. I know Call of Duty started doing microtransactions before
Mm-hmm.
that. So a lot of development was put on instead of giving you your content free, you get maps and then new ones come out, whatever, or you buy a DLC.
For sure.
You start buying stuff, and then they kind of give you an unfinished rough piece of rock, and then sort of add to it as they make all the extra cash on the micro transaction stuff, and that kind of ruins the development cycle. But everything I've been reading about it is not necessarily COVID related. It's more that they want stuff pushed out by a certain, Christmas or whatever. And
The
with
the
that,
higher ups, so to speak, are having
yeah,
issues with the game. So I don't know.
Yeah, not to call out certain companies, but it's just they'll say like you have to have this by this date, and they'll make people work until they quit, and they'll make people, whatever, and it pushes a lot of talent out. So a lot of the places that are big name studios are losing serious talent because they're kind of making their employees not enjoy their job. So I don't
I,
think it's really related to development having issues or COVID. It's been just top down. People haven't been focused on the player, sadly.
do you think that was now we're really diving into it before we get to the next fun question. Do you
Yeah.
think Do you think that back in the 2000s when Halo 2 and Halo 3 came out, I mean, obviously we all know the history. Like, this is a very well documented thing with Bungie and the relationship with Halo being built for Microsoft Studios. Very, very rough. But besides that outlier, think of like Call of Duty, Call of Duty 3, Modern Warfare, the original, and all these other games. Do you think that back then they just kind of threw devs money and said, okay, make us a game, and that's it? And do you think nowadays they're like, no, 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 we need monetization? Do you think they're more, the higher ups at these companies have more investment into the monetization of everything? Because I feel like back
I do.
then games were so like different and
Rich,
vast, and now it just
rich.
seems
They're
like
moving
everything's
richer.
so streamlined for monetization. So sad.
There's
Mm,
Yeah, the things that I've read, there's two changes that happened. One is back then it was expensive to push new content.
yeah,
So like for each patch, I think on Xbox, you had to pay X amount to have patch 1 through 4, whatever, come out.
that's
Not you, the
insane.
person, but you pay Microsoft like a server fee to host your stuff to push to you as the user.
Mm-hmm.
Those costs, I think, have gone down, and maybe you can even offsite host it. So it's like, from um, my server into Microsoft. So it's not as expensive, but now there's a big push, I think, because people see those dollar signs, and some companies have made incredible sums of money off of a microtransaction for what is that in Fortnite, like some crazy outfit. So they're like, I want that.
Yeah,
That's going to make my year end is going to be incredible, and I'm going to get a bonus. So that's what you have to do now, developer. And they're like, oh, they're.
yeah,
I'm sure they hate it because they hate it because
rolling
they
their
want to make
eyes.
a great
And,
game.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, because you could make a great game, or you could make a game that focuses on buying new costumes. So that kind of ruins things for a lot of the development cycle.
Yeah, it's just insane, Sterling. Because I used to play like this game called Jet Set Radio on like the Xbox. I used to play
Uh-huh.
Midnight Club, Halo. We played Fusion Frenzy. We played all these weird like fun games, but like I just don't see anything anymore that relates to just grab a disc and play. Which one?
Right?
Monetization. That's probably a big thing. But two,
Uh-huh.
I just think that there should be a healthy balance between like the higher ups within companies to understand, okay, this is what real players want, but this is what they're willing
Hmm.
to sacrifice. I wish that there was a 50-50. Like you can get your fun game, but we also get money, so let's work this thing out.
Make it an option. Yeah,
Yeah.
make it an option, not start at the monetization and build down.
Yeah. And I feel like we're definitely like coursing that way within like the history of like the video game industry, cuz everything was just gung ho and just make a cool game, and now it's monetization 24/7. So I feel like with everything that's going on, especially with this new batch of FPS shooters, there might be some kind of transition into hearing the players more. I don't know. That's a dream that I wish it could happen, but as
If
long as
you,
there's like consulting for like monetization, that would be prime. So
I think players are speaking. They're not buying or they're not playing anymore, so they're not going to buy more content. So that's going to
I've
hurt
noticed. I've
and
noticed.
year end financials. So that it'll get noticed, and I think eventually it'll change, but it might take a few years.
We'll get there.
So
We'll get there.
yeah,
Because I'm still a player, and
yeah,
I'm assuming you're still
yeah.
a player as well. So,
Oh yeah.
so yeah. But yeah, man, I just had to get off my chest because that's a burden, so to speak. Ever since I'd say Halo
Yeah.
5, didn't want to touch that game. But anyways, more fun questions. Not to go down the rabbit hole again, good sir.
Mhm.
Um, this isn't a fun question, but yeah, we'll keep it fun. What's your favorite activity besides gaming? Good sir.
Uh, well, favorite would be I've got kids, so that's one of my favorites right now. That's at the top.
Awesome.
But after that, yeah, after that's gaming. And then every so often I get a couple of my friends together, paintball, really only in the summer.
You're a
Um,
paintballer. Oh, that's
yeah,
awesome.
that's kind of the order of how I am right now.
I like it. I like to hear that.
Yeah. Wait, sorry. Yeah, you said not gaming, so probably paintball. Paintball, and then making custom shirts. My wife got something to make shirts with like a design. So this is one that I made recently, and there's a couple others I have. So
Shirt is sick.
um, yep, having a unique shirt's kind of fun, and a lot of stuff you can't find, or maybe they want to sell it to you with like a weird shirt, and then you can get the shirt you want and just print it on there. I love that. That's lets me express how I want to express my clothes without having to let somebody else tell me what I can fit within a mold. So
True. True, true, true.
yeah.
I like that. That's crazy, Sterling. I can't believe you're a paintballer. That's awesome. I've been paintballing since I was actually we went for my brother's. It was part of my brother's bachelor weekend. We went the
Hmm.
first day, so that was a lot of fun. So I was
Yeah.
20. It's 4 years ago. Wow, that is crazy. I feel like I'm
Yeah.
getting older and older day by day. But anyways, to fill the stream in as well as you, Sterling. Personally, like gaming's been a really big thing for me, especially as of late. If I'm not working on some projects with work or discussing about era, which lately it
Hmm.
feels like we've been doing a lot. This week a little teeter, but besides work, I would say, and gaming, I would say video editing has definitely taken a piece of me. I've dabbled with my roommate's personal YouTube channel, so we're kind of doing some stuff there, getting some stuff prepped. Um, go on walks. I like longboarding. I board. I like boarding a lot.
Sweet.
I haven't done it much
Nice.
lately because of the cold, but it's been nothing but nice
Yep.
this week. So I'm probably gonna do that right after this call. But that's probably a big thing. Me and the lady, I have a girlfriend. She's wonderful. Me and her probably just hang out and play games or just watch our shows. But that's probably the big top ones on my list. Sterling in
Hmm.
chat. If not, cooking. I actually love cooking a lot. Like a lot, a lot. Sometimes I get a little
Really?
burnt out from it. Yeah, yeah. I just cooked up. I'm down to go down to it, Sterling. Just this Tuesday, actually. I just made these two steaks for me and the lady. We made some nice steak fries, chopped them up, put some a brown sauce over it. Dude, I don't know what got into me. I guess my family loves cooking, but ever since them, I've been dabbling ever since I moved into this new home. So
That's
yeah,
awesome.
a lot of cooking, and maybe I have to make you and everyone else at Era some good food. So
Yeah. No, I'm into that. My wife and I, we're big on cooking at home, and one of the biggest things we've done that has made a big difference is start with a vegan recipe, and if you like meat, just add the meat instead of the tofu. And there's
ooh,
always the flavors are crazy, like a cashew sauce or something like that. It's amazing.
that
There's some
sounds like
really
a good
crazy,
idea for
yeah, yeah.
me.
There's some crazy food ideas you can get just starting with a vegan or vegetarian recipe and then add in a protein.
I like it. I like it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna need to try that because most of my cuisine is either like typical Asian dishes, or Hispanic dishes. I do a lot of, fajitas or tacos. I've been trying to get into some really authentic Hispanic dishes, so I'll definitely fill you in, and whoever else is on the stream next week about how that goes. But yeah, cooking's definitely like in the top three right now. Besides that, just hanging out with the lady, going longboarding, video editing, and obviously gaming's that top priority for me. So
It's
so yeah,
awesome.
yeah, Sterling. Well, next question for you then. I'm just thinking of fun things on top of my head. I've Last time I talked to Scott on stream, we just kind of talked about his activities, his favorite esports teams, and just in
Yeah.
general his background. Speaking of, who was your favorite esports team
Mm,
back in the days slash right now? Who do you watch
oh,
if you're still like in the CS:GO market? If not, tell me about the history back then.
back then there were a lot of teams that I used to follow and I used to try and wear their tags because I liked them so much. But there was one called Fang. I love that, whatever that was. Where that was, I don't know, 20 years ago now.
Fang.
But
That's crazy.
yep, with a four instead of an A. And then there was the DDC, some clan. I don't remember. I was pretty big into the CS teams back in the day, but at the moment, I don't know if I have a current favorite team. I don't want to single one out.
That's all good. My question then, Sterling, is there any players from like back in your day that still play to this day? Because I think Olaf Meister retired, Simple's still playing. I don't think Stewie 2K is it Stewie 2K still playing. Summit 1G is a streamer. Shroud is a streamer. Like those are the big names that I know from the Counter Strike scene. But like, are any of
There
the
was
players back then still playing to this day that you know?
I have to look him up. There was a kid. He partnered with a lot of Motherboard and some other people. Fatality. You'll see
Oh,
his name on a lot of different stuff. I think still to this day. I don't know if he plays anymore. But yeah, I bought some of his stuff just by happenstance, and I remember having his. I think he never put his face on stuff because it was like, what are you gonna do, like a weird like pose or something like that? But he'd always do his name with the styling on it. So yeah, I think that was the only guy that I looked at, but I have to look him up. I don't know if he plays anymore.
I'm gonna have to look him up myself. But Mr. Fatality is what you're saying, correct?
Yep. Yeah, there's probably fours in there too for some of the A's, but he was look up like a fatality motherboard and you'll be able to find it, I think.
I'm looking up
But
right
yeah,
now as we're on here. Oh!
yeah,
Oh, yep, he's still around. I don't know if this is the right one, but I do see a whole bunch of motherboards, YouTube and Twitch. Yep,
yep,
Fatality with the one. Well,
that
there
sounds
you
right. Yep.
go. Wow, this is crazy. Well, it's happy to
Yeah.
know that these kids are still playing, so to speak, to this day.
Yeah,
So,
ignorantly.
so yeah,
Exactly.
that's awesome. Well, good. Good to hear, good sir, about your personal taste in esports right now. What other games do you dabble in, if I can ask? Do you watch a lot of things, Sterling, right now, or you just kind of just focus on your children, I should say?
I don't watch as much. I don't have time to watch much. There was a period of time where I watched, I think his name was Danny on PC, and he did like made up stuff on YouTube where he would make stories happen in a zombie game. I think it was DayZ.
Oh, that's
So he'd
awesome.
like he'd do like scripted stuff or whatever. That was a lot of fun. And otherwise, Fallout 4 is a game I got back into recently. Now that I got a computer that can run it,
That's awesome.
and yeah. And then other than that, I don't think so. I did a little Call of Duty, the more recent one, and then that was before Vanguard.
About to
Played the
say,
hard.
yeah, I'm about to say right now we've all been kind of in the sphere of Minnesota Rocker and just the Call of Duty
Yeah,
League because, well, if you don't know, Arrow Crew and everyone else that's watching, we have a Call of Duty team and we're located in Minneapolis, obviously. So it's just wild that we're a part of the CDL, which is a great thing for all of us because we all get to thrive as esports here locally in the Minnesota area. So yeah, that's probably the big thing I would say, Sterling, because even Scott keeps up with the rocker scene a little bit just because we're so affiliated with
yeah,
them personally. So yeah, I mean, I'm dabbling personally to fill you guys in, Sterling, a little bit with Call of Duty when the big matches come on. I know like Optic and FaZe are just like the pinnacles still to this day for Call of Duty. I used to watch like crazy back in Black Ops 1. I don't Black Ops 2, I should say. Not much lately, but Halo, obviously watching all the time. League of Legends I've been getting really into. Fun fact for everyone, as well as you, Sterling. My lady, my girlfriend, she didn't know much about League of Legends at all. She just knew about the cute anime-esque skins that are in the game. So she played with me, and I showed her what esports was, and now she likes watching League of Legends more than I do, and I've been playing for 9 years, so go figure. So
nice.
so yeah, we watch esports. That's another thing on that list that I could say. But
Yeah,
League of Legends, Halo, Call of Duty. I dabble with the big majors for CS:GO still to this day. Smash is still very very prominent in the fighting game world. So
yes, it is.
so yeah, all the major titles I'm still keeping up with. I would say the only thing I probably don't keep up with is Valorant, which I'm a little sad about honestly because it's always so booming. But never
Yeah,
too late, right? So
can always look back.
true, 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 true. But yeah, Sterling, to end the stream. I don't think I have anything else for you. Looks like we've got almost an hour on the clock, good sir. So I appreciate your time. Any
Absolutely.
anything you want to say to the stream slash the YouTube channel? Literally anything and everything. It could be simple as say thanks for watching or If you want to chime in about your personal life,
Hmm.
era, go at it.
Yeah, nothing personal life for me, nothing for Era, just be kind to one another.
For sure.
That's all I have to say. Yeah.
I like that. I like that a lot. Thank you, stream. Thank you for tuning in with me today, Luis, your host, interviewing your founder and co-founder and COO, Sterling Thornburg today. This is Luis from Era Sports. I'm signing off. Tune in next week where we interview Eric A., the founder. And I will catch you then. Thank you.
Thank you.